Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the
Welcome back to another show, another episode of the Ian Fritts Show. We've got the Week 10 recap. A lot of games to talk about. I'm only talking about a couple of them, but we'll talk about many more in the What If poll later to come in the show. So we've got BEDLAM, number one. Got to talk about it. The last one for the foreseeable future. Got to talk about it. A lot went down in that game. I've got a lot to say about that game. Then we've got LSU, Alabama. We've got some big storylines coming out of that game. And then we've got, the fan favorite segment of the What If poll coming on later in the show, at the end of the show, just like usual in these recaps that I do. So thank you for joining. If this is your first show watching, I appreciate you. And welcome to the team. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the BEDLAM recap and let's get into it, okay? You guys cool with that? You are, because I can't really talk to you. So we're getting into it. All right, BEDLAM recap. Last one for the foreseeable future. And we'll just give it to Oklahoma State. Congrats to those guys. Getting their 20th. Yes, you heard me correct. 20th. It took them 100 years to get to 20 wins in BEDLAM. So I don't know if we should be celebrating it per se, but we're going to give them their credit. They won the game, and they won it fair and square. Maybe. We'll get into that a little bit later. So first thing I want to talk about with OK State right now. You won BEDLAM, but let's talk about them as a whole right now. Okay? This turnaround in season that they have done from where they were at the beginning of the season to where they are right now, knocking off Oklahoma right now, it is unbelievable. It is, I think, one of the most underrated storylines in college football right now, what Oklahoma State has done since the beginning of the season till now, okay? After last season, half the program left. They were like, whoop, we're out of here. We're done with this garbage stuff that Mike Gundy's doing down there in Stillwater. And then Mike Gundy was like, you know what? That's fine, guys. I'm a good coach. I can get me a D3 wide receiver. I can get me a guy from D2 School of the Blind, and we can make our team work. We can make it work with whoever we have. And credit to Mike Gundy. They went out and got a guy from the School of the Blind, a guy from a D3 college up in Oregon that nobody knew existed, and they've made it work. Now, they were the laughing stock a couple weeks into the season. They were 2-0, beating an Arizona State team by, 5 points or whatever, and Arizona State's really bad, guys, so keep that in mind. And then they come home, 2-0, feeling a little good, a little better, not great by any means, still playing 3 quarterbacks, still don't have a running back, still don't know what they're doing. They come home, they're like, all right, South Alabama, FCS team, let's get on track here, And what happened? Boom, off the tracks. 33-7 at home, South Alabama. They roll right into the bye week right after that, and Mike Gundy's like, enough, okay? D3 guy, you're playing more football. School of the Blind guy, you're playing more football. Alan Bowman, you're the quarterback. Ollie Gordon, you're the running back, and let's get this thing on track and get going. Come out of the bye week, lose to Iowa State up in Ames, but they looked a lot better. After that, 5-0, straight wins right there, 5 straight wins, and they've looked good. They have looked good, okay? Credit to Mike Gundy and that coaching staff. I don't know what they told the players during the bye week, but it was the opposite of what happened for the Oklahoma Sooners, okay? It's complete 180s of these programs since their respective bye weeks. Oklahoma State back in week 4, OU back in week 6 or 7 a couple weeks ago. Since OSU bye week, 5-1, playing really good football, win against number 9 Oklahoma at home last BEDLAM. Congrats to you guys. The turnaround is the story for Oklahoma State right now. Yes, Ollie Gordon, elite running back. Alan Bowman, good enough to win you some games. Defense, suspect, but you had some stops to win you some games. But Mike Gundy and what that coaching staff has done since the beginning of the season, they identified their guys during the bye week and were like, hey, we're sticking with you. It may work, it may not, but we don't have any other options, okay? And there's some programs, Oklahoma right now, that need to look at the mirror and say, hey, you're our guys, we're sticking with you, and these are the plays we're going to run, okay? Oklahoma State's not messing around. They're doing quick slants, B, X, whatever it is on Xbox, PlayStation 5, whatever you do, they're hitting B and X for quick slants, and they're doing halfback zone. That's their play sheet right now on offense. And it won them a football game. It won them a football game. And if I'm Oklahoma right now, I'm a little sad. So for OSU, what's funny about that South Alabama game is a reporter asked Mike Gundy after the game. He said, Mike, Coach Gundy, what are these issues? What are these major issues that you see during that game? What does that prompt you to think about, okay? What are these major issues? And Mike Gundy said, I don't see any major issues, reporter dude. I don't see any major issues. All I see are a bunch of minor issues, okay? Easy to fix things, okay? Mike Gundy got laughed at. Just, me included. I laughed at him. I was like, major? You just lost 33-7 to South Alabama and there's no major issues, okay? And he said, no, minor issues. We'll get them figured out. What has he done since then? He got him figured out, 5-1. Mike Gundy, turnaround coach right now in season. If there's an in-season turnaround, it goes to the Oklahoma State Cowboys, guys. No doubt about it. Tied for first in the Big 12 right now. Everything's in front of them. They can win the Big 12. Who would have thought that 5 weeks ago? The Oklahoma State Cowboys can win the Big 12. They got an easy schedule coming up these next 3 weeks. Everything in front of them. Wouldn't be shocked with that running back over there too, okay? Congrats to OSU winning the last Bedlam. Now, let's get into OU and just the abysmal performance that has been since Texas, okay? Now, in the preview show, if you didn't watch that, they come out sometime during the week. Try to get them out on Wednesday. Sometimes that doesn't happen. I said in the preview show, OU is an undisciplined team, a team that looks like they don't want to be there, and a team that looks like Texas was their Super Bowl. That's what they wanted to do this season, okay? If you watched any of the game yesterday, any of the game on Saturday, it looks like, what did it look like? Oh, well, they were undisciplined, and looked like they didn't want to be there, coaches included, and looked like Texas was their Super Bowl. Now, I just mentioned the turnaround that OSU has done since their bye week. Let's look at OU since their bye week. Boop, 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 pull it up. Okay, beat Texas before the bye week. Great win. Best win in all of college football up until that point. Let's get that bye week. Okay, so you got a week off. Build momentum. Keep that going. Get a little rest. Get a little healthy. And you get UCF at home. Not a good football team. Losing record. Let's build momentum off that Texas win. Let's stomp UCF into the ground. No. You win 31-29. You stop a 2-point conversion to win that football game and recover an onside kick. Okay. All right. Well, the next week you go into Lawrence, Kansas. Good football team, but they're missing their starting quarterback. Let's right the ship here. Let's bounce back. Let's get a good win up in Lawrence, Kansas. Let's see what happened there. Oh, no, you have your quarterback throw the ball 19 times. You run 18 jet sweeps, and you lose to the Kansas Jayhawks in Lawrence, who good football team. But that's not exactly what you wanted after a poor performance against UCF, after a bye week, after a great win, okay? So, all right, you're thinking to yourself, okay, all right. Fine, all right, that was just a bad game against Kansas. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out up there in Stillwater against OSU. Big-time game. We're going to be fired up for this game. Last Bedlam for who knows how long. We're fired up. We're fired up, the Oklahoma Sooners were. Let's see what happened in this game, okay? You get manhandled on the first drive of the game. You right the ship a little bit. You're down 17-14 at half. For some reason, you don't take a timeout and have a minute and a half to go and try and score before the half. Not entirely sure what happened there. Coming out in the second half, defense is playing great. Offense, whoa. What does that say? Let's read that again. Oh, you had 5 chances. 5 chances to score a touchdown in the second half to win the football game, and you didn't do it. You didn't score at all. So if I'm Oklahoma right now, I'm in a dark place, to be honest with you. I'm in a dark, dark place, maybe a cave somewhere off the coast of, somewhere with a coast and caves, maybe off in Greece or something, but it's an ugly place in Greece, okay? It's one of those dungeons that they kept people in way back in the olden days. That's where I am if I'm an Oklahoma Sooners fan, player, coach. I don't care. The Oklahoma Sooners are in a dark, dark place right now, okay? They were up here. They were up here when they beat Texas. Where are they right now? They're way down there, under this floor, into the ground, at the core of the center of the earth. That's where OU is right now, okay? You can't get any more down than they are right now. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's undisciplined football. It's sorry football that's playing soft football, conservative football on the offense, conservative football, by no means necessary. It makes no sense if you're watching them play football right now. And it's sad. It's sad if you're an Oklahoma Sooners fan, and they're in dark places. So think about those guys. Text them, say, hey, how you doing this week during the work week? Make sure they're okay, because it shouldn't happen right now. It's happened 3 straight weeks for OU right now. 3 weeks in a row after a bye week, mind you. After a bye week, OU has been undisciplined, played to the level of their opponent, which is a much lesser opponent. I just told you OSU's got a school the blind D2 guy out there and a D3 wide receiver from Oregon, schooling them up and down the football field. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. 3 weeks in a row, OU has been outcoached. They've been outcoached 3 weeks in a row. They've been outplayed. They've been outcoached. They've been outdisciplined. They've been out at everything. And yet they're losing these games by 1 score, 3 or 4 points. Okay, they're only doing that because they have the talent, but they're losing these games because they've been outcoached 3 weeks in a row. It's unacceptable for a team to be doing that at a program like Oklahoma. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. If Mike Gundy at OSU in Stillwater, Oklahoma, can get their stuff figured out in season after a loss to South Alabama, OU should be able to figure some things out after a close win against UCF. They shouldn't snowball into 2 losses in a row, okay? It shouldn't happen at a program like Oklahoma. It starts with coaching. Brent Venables got to get it figured out. Jeff Levy got to get it figured out. It's poor. It's poor. Their season is over, okay? Some of you might be saying, Ian, their season isn't. It's over. No hope of a Big 12 championship game. Texas is rolling. They won. Big-time game. Some might say Texas isn't rolling, but they should have won the Kansas State game by 30 yesterday, okay? They let them get back into that game. I don't think that's happening again. Texas going to get into the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma State looks like they're getting in the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma just has a 10-win season to play for. I don't think it's going to happen anymore, guys. I've seen nothing from them since the bye week that makes me think, yeah, this team's getting to 10 wins. No, not happening. Okay, all right. So, congrats to OSU. In-season turnaround has been incredible. Oklahoma fans, think about them, talk about them, text them. They're in dark places right now, okay? Let's talk about LSU, Alabama now after I take this sip. You'll see why I don't have a straw in a minute. Okay, LSU, Alabama. If you didn't watch this football game, you should have. You should have been watching it. Talked about it in the preview. You should have been watching this football game. Fantastic football game, okay? It was shaping up to be one of the best quarterback battles in the last 10, 15 years until, sadly, Jaden Daniels got hurt in the 4th quarter there, late 3rd quarter, early 4th, something around there, and it kind of derailed the game, and it kind of went dull from there. But for those first 3.5 quarters of the game, guys, this was phenomenal football that we were witnessing. Jaden Daniels was running all over the place, looking like Kyler Murray / Lamar Jackson, throwing the ball, running the ball. He was doing it all. Malik Neighbors is a straight dude out there for LSU. It is phenomenal football offensively by LSU out there. And then you go over to Alabama. You go over to Alabama and you're like, whoa, okay, all right. Surely they weren't doing this offensively. Now, it looked a lot different from Alabama. They had this man named Jalen Milroe. We'll get to him in a second. He's going to get a big award here in a little bit. And you look at Jalen Milroe, you're like, he's not going to do what Jaden Daniels can do. The numbers were pretty much identical, guys. They were pretty much identical. And unfortunately for Jaden Daniels, he got hurt and didn't get a win, so he can't get the Heisman now. And he can't get a certified stud muffin, in my opinion. But a man that is going to get a certified stud muffin, we're going to hand that right to Jalen Milroe. Okay, he balled out. No big deal. He had 220 yards passing, 155 rushing yards, and 4 total touchdowns. That'll do. That'll get it done for you. And really, after Jaden Daniels went down, Alabama kind of just went into cruise control mode. They really didn't need to start pressing the issue and start scoring points because the game was pretty much over when Jaden Daniels got injured. LSU, unfortunately, is one player right now. If Jaden Daniels go down, their team it just stalls. It just gets stuck and they can't really do anything. Okay, they're just stuck in the mud. With Jaden Daniels, well-oiled machine on the defense. But Jalen Milroe, congrats to you joining elite company, becoming 7th, 8th player to win the Certified Stud Muffin Award this year. You're not going to be in the Heisman Trophy conversation most likely, but what I want to talk about Jalen Milroe here. Beginning of the year, people were doubting this man. They were doubting this man. This guy cannot get it done. He is a loser. He is not an elite quarterback. He cannot get it done at a program like Alabama. Okay, that's what people were saying. Not me. I've never said any of that. He wasn't getting it done, guys. He was not getting it done. And then shoot, poop. Alabama. This is what happens. What does this mean, guys? You're like, well, Ian, what are you doing? Well, this is right here. Boom. Snowballs. It snowballs in a good way for Alabama. That's what Alabama does. After the Texas loss, people were like, this is a 9-3 team, 8-4 team, 10-2 team, not making the Atlanta. They're not winning the SEC. Well, newsflash, kaboom, right in your face. Newsflash. Alabama will be in Atlanta. They will be in Atlanta playing most likely the Georgia Bulldogs for the SEC championship game, and they have a very good chance of winning that football game. A few weeks ago, I said this, guys. I'd watch out for Alabama. Their offense is starting to figure things out, and their defense is still elite. It's been elite all year, okay? So once they start getting things going offensively, watch out for them. And newsflash, again, they figured it out offensively. It's not Jalen Milroe throwing the ball 55 times a game like they did with Bryce Young, Mac Jones. It's not that, guys. It never should have been that, and it never will be that. It's Jalen Milroe throwing the ball 22 times a game and running the ball 15, 16 times a game. That's their recipe for success, and that's how they will win football games offensively, okay? And it's scary. They finally figured it out. Everybody saw this. Everybody saw this at the beginning of the year. Hey, maybe don't throw the ball 45 times with Jalen Milroe. He can't do that. Run the ball maybe 20 times with him. Throw it 20 times. That's a better recipe for Jalen Milroe to succeed. And what did Alabama do the last couple weeks? They've done exactly that. Defense is humming. Defense is still balling. Offense is getting it going. I'd be worried if I was any team playing Alabama in the future right now. Even if I'm Georgia in 5 weeks' time in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? So watch out for Alabama guys right now. I said it a few weeks ago. They're rolling, and it's scary when Alabama starts getting things going offensively and defensively. They are humming right now. It's fun to watch. Not really. I'm not an Alabama hater, but I don't like them. So, picks recap real quick after I take this sip. Week 10 picks, we went 10-10, so 500 day. That's a couple 500 weeks in a row. Unfortunately, no straw. I don't get a straw until I do a winning week, so I'm still having to sip from the cup like a loser. No straw yet. So that brings the record to 86 and 78.5 overall. We're trying to get it back on track, but still overall pretty good for the season. We need to get back on the winning side of things though. All right, without further ado, we're going to get into the fan favorite segment here, the What If poll for Week 11. Week 11's got some big time games, guys. Let's get into the What If poll. Okay, here we go. What If poll, number 24 team in the country. We got the UCLA Bruins, down 3 from where they were last week. You may be seeing, Ian, how can you have UCLA in the top 24? And it's because of their defense, guys. Their defense is still really, really good. Dante Moore's still making mistakes. I still don't like what I'm seeing from him. But until I see the defense fall apart, I'm going to keep them there because that defense is really, really good. So down 3 from them. Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Sam Hartman has now lost every game he's ever played against Clemson Tigers, 5 of them. And if you're wondering, he's one of only 2 players in college football history to lose to the same team 5 times. So that's not a stat you want to be a part of if you're Sam Hartman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's not a stat that you want to be a part of, associated with if you're Sam Hartman. So unfortunately for him and the Fighting Irish, we're going to drop them 7 places to number 23. Defense still good. It was just a little shaky yesterday. It was not good from them yesterday. All right, right above them, we got the LSU Tigers. Jaden Daniels, I think he's going to be back next week. And anytime you can get your Heisman contending quarterback back after an injury that sidelined him in the rest of the game against Alabama, you're going to be in good shape. The offense is still incredible with him at the helm. But the defense, it can't stop a nosebleed. Said it last week, they couldn't stop anything from Jalen Milroe. So we're going to drop them 10. I still think they're top 24 team, but we're dropping them 10, okay? Kansas State Wildcats had a chance to win this football game yesterday. Now, some people are like, why wouldn't you just take the field goal in overtime and tie the game, go to double overtime? Well, number one, on the road, top 10 team. You were down by 20. You got it back. You got it to overtime. You should have been out of this game. You get down there in overtime, one play to win the football game. You take that 10 times out of 10, okay? If you have this is my philosophy on this, and I think I'm right. If an underdog opponent on the road against a big-time team in a big-time moment, big-time atmosphere, like it was yesterday in Austin, if you have that opportunity to win the football game on the road in that type of environment, you take it 10 times out of 10. I have no issue with that. I liked it. When they get going, they're a very good football team, the Kansas State Wildcats. So we're dropping them 4 from where they were last week. The Utah Utes, moving them up, beat a bad Arizona State team, but everybody else, this was kind of a weird week for movement. The teams that lost, like the teams that should have lost. So kind of hard to move things around, but the what if poll, we like movement, so we're moving them around. Okay, the Utah Utes, we're moving them up 3 from where they were last week. Absolutely smacked around the Arizona State Sun Devils. All right, here you go. There it is right there. Number 19 team in the country. It's tough for the Oklahoma Sooners. I said it earlier. They're in a dark, dark place. We dropped them 10, deservedly so. We dropped them 10 from where they were. So, unfortunately, that's where they are right now. 19, James Madison, Bulldogs. We're moving them up 2 from where they were last week. They keep winning games. I like it, so we're moving them up. No big deal. Tennessee Volunteers. Okay, they absolutely hammered whoever they played yesterday, UConn or whatever, like 95-0. So I'm not moving them up for that, but we're keeping them right where they are, okay? Oregon State Beavers, keeping them right where they are, number 16 overall. Now, big mover from last week, unranked to number 15 in the country. We've got the Kansas Jayhawks, okay? I thought they were going to go up to Ames, Iowa and lose that football game. I did. Tough place to play, and they came out fiery. Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas Jayhawks, is a-rolling. He's in his bag every week. Good offensive coordinator. I feel like some big-time programs will be on the phone with him in the offseason. Hey, you want to come call our plays up here at Norman, Oklahoma? I don't know if they will. But Kansas Jayhawks, good football team. Up 9, number 15 in the what-if poll. All right. Number 14, the team that just beat the Oklahoma Sooners. We got them back-to-back teams that beat OU, ahead of OU, rightfully so. We've got the Oklahoma State Cowboys, okay? If you would have told me after the South Alabama loss that OSU would be number 14 team in the what-if poll, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, first of all, what did you just say to me? That the what-if poll is a serious organization. It's a serious poll. It is a serious algorithm we have. And we're not having jokes in this thing, okay? That's what I would have said. And then, fast forward to present time, it makes complete sense that they're here. They're rolling on offense. Ollie Gordon, baller, stud. Give it to him right there, number 14 team in the country. Right next to him right there, Arizona Wildcats. You may be saying, Ian, how can you have a 3-loss team, top 15 in the country? Well, I can, because Arizona is a great football team. They're a great football team. At home, on the road, doesn't matter. They play very good football teams like Washington. Tough. They take USC to 3 overtimes. This Arizona Wildcat team is for real, guys. They're for real. I don't care if they have 3 losses. We're moving them up from where they were last week at number 19. Up 6. So Arizona Wildcats, number 13. Missouri Tigers right there. You may be saying, Ian, they just lost to Georgia. Yeah, they did, but they played a good football game. If it wasn't for a mental mistake from Brady Cook throwing it right to a Georgia defensive lineman, they could have won that game easily, okay? They're a good football team. They're a very good football team. I like it. All right. Louisville Cardinal. I doubted them last week. Shouldn't have doubted them. So we're going to go Louisville up 6. Dominant win. Good for those guys. Penn State Nittany Lions cracking the top 10 in the what-if poll. Still don't think they're great, but I don't know who I can put above them right now, guys. I don't know who I can put above them. So let's just move into the top 9 where the nitty-gritty gets down to here. All right. The Ole Miss Rebels getting into the top 9. The offense is awesome. The game against the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend could be one of the funnest games to watch in all of college football this season, okay? I know it's in Athens. Georgia hasn't lost a home game in 1,200 days or something crazy like that. So, but it's going to be fun. The Rebels are going to go in there and play them tough. The next 4 didn't move at all because all of those teams won. I didn't see anything from those teams that made me think I need to move one above the other, one team down. Didn't really see a lot there. So we're going to keep them Washington 8, Alabama 7, Texas 6, and Oregon 5. Then we're going to get to the top 4. Top 4 is the same, but a little bit of movement. As you know, I try to predict the top 4 just like the college football playoff. So when you watch this video, come noon Central Time, you'll see the top 4 before everybody else. So that's good for us. So we've got Florida State at number 4. Solid win. They looked a little shaky, but they righted the ship and they got it done. Okay, so Florida State up 0. We're going to drop Ohio State 2. I think they're going to drop them below Georgia and Michigan for how they played against a poor Rutgers team, okay? That game should have been a lot closer. Just a garbage time cover from Ohio State right there at the end of the game. Pretty unfortunate for Ohio State bettors, or Rutgers bettors, excuse me. That game, if it wasn't for a missed targeting call, I mean, that game could have gone on a lot of different ways. So, who knows? But I think they're going to drop them too because of the win from Georgia, and Michigan just still looks dominant, guys. So, that's the top 4 right now. I think that's what it's going to look like from College Football Committee. That's the show for the Week 10 recap. It might have been a little bit of a shorter show, but sometimes I just go where the material takes me, guys. That's what I do. I just go where I go with the flow, you know? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. You'll see it down there. Subscribe, please. I would love that if that happened. That would be great for the program. We're gonna, big things are coming, guys. We're gonna have a nice little new background here in the near future. We're gonna get a microphone. We're going opposite of Oklahoma Sooners right now. We're going in opposite directions. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the preview show. Big week for Week 11. A lot of fun games to talk about, and I think you guys are going to enjoy that one. So thank you for watching. I love you guys, and goodbye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State. Jalen wants Jackson.
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45.